What does it look like to walk in wholeness as an artist in Christ working in secular culture? I looked this word up, and there were two definitions that really stood out for me. The first one is an organization of parts fitting and working together as one. And the second definition that stood out to me is not leaving any part out. What does that look like? Well, as an artist in Christ working in secular culture, essentially we're made up of three parts. You have the Christian part of you, right? That's the believer, the follower of Christ. You have the creative part of you as one who makes art or works in the artistic sector. And then there's the cultural participant part of you, which essentially means that you participate in secular culture through your art making and your career. So as we look at this idea of wholeness, what does it look like for all three of those aspects to be, or should I say all three of those parts, to be brought into every aspect of your experience as an artist in Christ working in secular culture? I've got three pictures, so I want to share those with you today. So the first picture of this wholeness is bringing your whole self to your faith walk. And I'm looking down because I have notes. I want to keep this succinct and not eternal. So the first one, again, is bringing your whole self to your faith walk. And essentially that means, first of all, not denying that you're an artist, that you are a creative person, not diminishing or putting away or only relegating to the fringes of your life, but embracing this as a vital part not only of the fabric of your life, but also of the fabric of your relationship with God. Embracing your creative self, your creative lens, as a way that God has gifted you with to experience and engage in this world in your daily life and in your experience with Him. It also means not apologizing for the fact that God has planted you in secular culture to utilize that creative gift. Period. And that in the utilization of that creative gift in secular culture, that He is in you, He is with you, He is for you, and also is working through you to make Himself known and to build His kingdom. That is a collaborative process that He is in with you. So that's what it looks like to bring your whole self to your faith walk. The second picture that I wanted to give you is bringing your whole self to your creative practice. And the first part of that is acknowledging that this gift has a source who wants to be an active participant and collaborator with you in your art making, even though you don't talk about faith. And the second part of that is allowing faith to have its place in your creative ideation, in the content. And again, that doesn't mean that you have to talk about faith, but that means embracing the fact that in the content that you explore, in the things that you present, that faith, or should I say that the stuff that you present is presented through a lens informed by your faith. I mean, let's be honest. Our relationship with God, the things that He teaches us, the things that we learn and in church should be influencing our thought process, the conclusions we draw, and the lens through which we see the world. So it's embracing faith as something that is informing the lens through which you explore the content that you explore. So that's bringing your whole self into your creative practice. And then the third one, the last one that I want to talk about, is bringing your whole self to your career management. Now you are out and active in secular culture. You're a cultural participant through your career, right? And you participate in culture through your creative aspect of yourself. That's the art making. But you also have to bring the part of you that exists on the other side of a yes. What do I mean? You said yes. When God put his finger on your heart and invited you to live a life with him, you said yes to live for him, to glorify him in your life. And that part of you needs to be brought into your career management as well, which means that your career needs to be something that exists on the other side of your yes as well, right? So you submit your career to God. You allow God to guide you in the career choices that you make. That's what it means to bring your whole self. Not leave the faith part of you out of your career decisions, but bring that faith part of you, the part of you that said yes to God, the part of you that committed to live for God. That has to be brought even into your career management. So that's 3 pictures of what this wholeness looks like, or should I say what it looks like to walk in wholeness as an artist in Christ working in secular culture. That you bring your whole self to your faith walk, you bring your whole self to your creative practice, and you bring your whole self to your career management.